All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, the NCAA may want to refer to it by the term of transfer portal, but let's just call it what it is, as free agency and collegiate athletics are here to stay, at least for right now. And with that said, the next round of free agency in college football is here. The focus has been on the quarterback position, and it will continue to be that way. Kyle McCord left Ohio State to sign with Syracuse. Dillon Gabriel left Oklahoma to go to Oregon. Riley Leonard left Duke to go to Notre Dame, and we still got the likes of DJU and Cam Ward out there, just to name a few. Now, at the end of the day, times have changed, not just for college football, but collegiate athletics. But obviously, right now, I'm focusing on college football because right now we're seeing players leave, starting players who are having success at Power Five schools, and in some cases, traditional powers. They're leaving these schools and they're looking for a new home. And at the end of the day, let the bidding wars begin. And I say this because the NILs are indeed making a difference. And whether you like it or not, this is the new college football as the race to cash in is on. And honestly, I'm not mad at the players because you can look at this from several different scenarios. It's like, if you're old school about it, you're going to say, well, you know what, you committed to that school, which is true. But does the school or the coaches fully commit to the players? Because we've seen it more often than not where a coach that will recruit a player, and it's not just necessarily the head coach, it could be a position coach, a defensive coordinator, an offensive coordinator, whomever, who recruits a player to a school, and then they get a job for at a bigger or better university, or maybe it's a pro job, or maybe they get fired. Now that kid is stuck at that school, so that kid should have the opportunity to go out there and leave. Or what happens if there was another school that was recruiting you heavily coming out of high school, and they had a coaching change, or the person that was playing your position left, and you feel like you have a better opportunity there, or like again, there's more NIL money at another school. You know what? These kids are going to go have that opportunity now, don't get me wrong, because we have some kids that are just running away from the competition aspect of it, and they're going to different schools. So it depends on what avenue that you're taking to look at this scenario. But at the end of the day, like I said, the transfer portal is here and it is making a difference in collegiate athletics. uh let's just call it what it is. It's free agency. Okay, that's plain and simple, because now, once a player leaves the school, now you got other schools out there lining up trying to recruit said player. Maybe there were some schools that were trying hard to recruit that player come out of high school in the first place, and now they feel like they have another opportunity. It's one of those where the transfer portal has changed things, because it's it's one of those for me. I think it's all about, obviously control. But at the end of the day, it's keeping coaches on their toes, because just because you recruit a kid doesn't mean that said kid is going to be happy. And it's one of those you might have to turn around and re-recruit that kid at the end of each year to try to get him to stay in your respective program. That's just the nature of it right now. The transfer portal is changing things, because you can, depending on which way you look at it, whether you're losing players or gaining players, but if you're gaining players, it could turn around the fortunes of your program real quick. You look at LSU last year. Brian Kelly comes in as a new head coach. There was some skepticism about that. He goes out there and gets quarterback Jaden Daniels from Arizona State. And within 1 year, LSU is in the SEC championship game. You look at Washington. Kalen DeBoer came in, picked up Michael Penix Jr. from Indiana, and he put him in his offense out there in Seattle. And now Michael Penix was a Heisman finalist this year, and Washington is in the college football playoff. So the right player or players in your system can make a world of difference. And again, I cannot harp on this enough. The landscape of college football is changing because right now the transfer portal is going to, and it has overshadowed bowl season with the exception of the college football playoff. Because let's keep it real right here. How many teams have we seen where either A, the head coach is already left for another position, B, the players have entered the transfer portal, or C, some of these players have decided to skip their bowl game in order to get themselves prepped for the NFL draft. So, it's really taking away from some of the bowl games. And honestly, at the end of the day, the college football playoff, in my opinion, has taken away from bowl season. There's too many bowl games to begin with. We see too many 6-6 teams facing off against each other, and at some points we've got to pull teams with losing records. So it's really the bowl season has been watered down, and the more that this college football playoff is expanded, the less people are really going to focus on that. And with that said, with this transfer portal, it's more about seeing, okay, where are these players going for next season? So at the end of the day, I know that, some purists, if you will, want things to change. But the bottom line is, like anything else, you've got to adjust and adapt. The transfer portal is here to stay. It's making us a difference, not just in college basketball. We're also seeing it in, pardon me, not just in college football, but college basketball as well. But nonetheless, times have changed, and it's all about adjusting and adapting. And like I said, I'm not trying to sound like a broken record, but the transfer portal is truly, indeed, making a difference. So, folks, that's going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.